Today is World Mental Health Day. This morning we're highlighting the Harris Center for Mental Health.
Yeah, they have over 80 locations in Harris County that provide free mental health services. Our Ugochi Aloka shares what their inpatient and outpatient care looks like and how the center saves someone who now works for them.
Right now, we are fielding almost 300,000 calls a year on crisis lines. So people are using them.
Tiffany Bittner is the director of suicide care initiatives here at Harris Center for Mental Health.
A lot of our calls really come from a place of someone kind of hitting that rock bottom and just reaching out to where they've heard that, hey, I can call this line and someone's going to help me.
Her team of crisis specialists answer those calls, whether it's through the Harris Center's 24/7 line at 713-970-7000 or when someone dials 988.
Statistically, your minorities, that group is kind of rising on that rate.
Once they call, Tiffany says they are routed to the right person that can designate the next step they can take to get the mental health care they desperately need.
I've dealt with my own mental health struggles. I have them in my family. I currently am dealing with them with my nephew. And so for me, mental health is a huge thing.
These are the specific items, I guess, when people walk in, they can have access to.
A lot of people like to journal and write, and we encourage that. That's actually considered one of those kind of evidence-based interventions in suicide care and in mental health. One of the things that I think is interesting when you look at rates of suicide over the last couple of years is that your older population actually has a statistically high rate of suicide. You think about loneliness.
The Harris Center answers up to 6,000 calls every month and nearly 40% of all 988 calls in Texas. A call similar to the one Leslie Hooper made after she tried to take her own life.
On my last attempt, actually, I was in the darkest of dark. I felt like dirt was more important than me, and I just wanted to end everything. And I overdosed. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks after that, in a coma for 3 days. And when I came out of that, I just thought, what am I going to do? I didn't want to live still. But luckily, I had the thought go through my head, normal people do not want to die. That thought, I think, saved me because I got help through the Harris Center. I became a client. I worked with a psychiatrist and a therapist and a peer specialist. And through that help, I was able to find love for myself again and find hope.
The Harris Center helped Leslie so much, she wanted to pay it forward.
I fell in love with the idea that I wanted people to come here and receive the help that I got and not feel alone because they're suicidal.
Now Leslie is a program assistant for the Zero Suicide Initiative at Harris Center.
I get to see clinicians look at people differently and say, oh, this assessment is actually going to help somebody because they see the difference. When I first got into this position, I went through that darkness again and I reached out for help. My boss was very understanding. I went and did what they call intensive outpatient and just got back on the journey of recovery.
One free call connected her to the Harris Center that changed her life for the better.
On World Mental Health Day and on every day, we want to encourage people to have the strength to reach out, be brave, speak up. You're not alone. There are so many people that struggle.
My biggest message to those who are struggling with mental health is to reach out. Silence is a killer. And when you think nobody's listening, there's always going to be somebody that wants to listen.
Creating a ripple effect for others struggling with mental health to get a second chance, too. Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
What a powerful story. Always someone listening. Ugochi, how can people watching this who feel like they need help access these resources?
Well, they can go to the Harris Center's website, theharriscenter.org, or they can call 988, which takes them to a direct line where they'll have access to different crisis specialists that'll link them to who they need to speak to get the help they need, because there's different options as well as different services that can also come to the home. So you don't have to necessarily come in the center. They also do outpatient services, and it's free. It's free help ready to be used and available. And also they gave me this pen here for World Mental Health Day. I don't know if you can see it. And then purple is their color too. That's why I'm wearing it today in solidarity.
Okay, what a great story.
Thank you all.